Welcome back to Nikolai's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classic. This is episode number 2452 and double show number 23, 46. Yeah, 46. We're here discussing basically the issues collected in Thor Spiral and Iron Man issue from volume 3 from the series for Iron Man, issues 41 to 49. The 2001 annual, and the Bad Blood miniseries. Basically, let's start with Thor. Thor, this is sort of the beginning and the end of this run for Dan Jurgens. Yes, except that 59 was not written by him. Written by Christopher Priest. It's a futuristic issue. It's in the year 2026. Well, it came out in the 90s, basically. Actually, 2000. So, yeah. Basically, it's about a boy named DJ who basically finds Mjolnir on a train. There's a guy who claims to be Thor. It's an okay issue. It's written by Christopher Priest. It's probably by far the only book he wrote for the series. And then comes the 8-part storyline Spiral. And this leads into the storyline that will end this run. The reigning/gods of men. Because the issue trades are very confusing exactly where they stop at with this one. Because they both start with issue 68. One stops at 74. And the other one stops at 79. So I'm thinking that possibly that for when I discuss this run again, when I come back to this, I'm just going to discuss the last 12 issues of this run. Because basically it's so confusing. Just do that. So, Spiral. It is basically kind of in the way where in this particular storyline, this also is the last time we'll see Jake Olsen for a while after this story arc wraps up. He doesn't pop up again until the last issue of this run. Well, under Dan Jurgens. Yeah, he only appears in the first 2 issues of the storyline. He appears in the finale. And that's it. That's all it is for him. Yep. Spiral, it's like Thor just does not care about Earth at all in these issues. Nope. He just does his own thing. Because most of the point in case of these issues, it is most of just Thor wearing a brand new armor and having his Council Elite, comprised of Zeus, Osiris, Young Hansen, Young Han, Vesu, Burma, and Serva. Zeus from the Greek gods, Osiris from the Egyptian gods. Yeah, bringing them in for this storyline. Yeah, and of course take on Zarko. Zarko returns this series. Yes, Zarko, aka the Tomorrow Man. A guy who had not appeared in this book in a long time. Well, scratch that. He last appeared in issue 55. He does appear for 61, 66, 67, 79. After that, he appeared just a few more times after this for Zarko, the Tomorrow Man, and that is it for him. No, seriously, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Also, Thor Girl comes in this issue, the storyline. This is just an okay story arc per se. It's got good artwork. It's almost like basically Dan Jurgens just does whatever he wants here. Heck, this issue doesn't even focus on Thor at all. Issue 63, part 4 of the storyline, and Thor is the focus of his own issue. It's basically this guy called Drent Stuclark. This little kid who gets killed off for a neck issue. I mean, the most interesting thing related to this storyline is the fact Loki comes back. Yep. That's the most interesting thing involved in the storyline. Then we have the debut of this group known as the Consortium of Nations. And this will be an antagonist for Thor when it basically becomes Thor, Lord of Earth. Yep. And the story itself, basically, and Thor gets questioned by Jake Olsen, like, oh, why are you doing this? And then apparently then we have a jump ahead. Basically, we have the end of the book go into an Ulta timeline, which referred to as Earth 3115, where Thor takes over the planet in order to protect it, mostly. Yeah, it's an okay story arc. That's just my estimate about it. Um, we're getting close to wrapping up. It's like basically what Awesome is basically this run had when Dan Jurgens was running. It's like I'm thinking he's running out of ideas, so why not do an ultra reality? Because I kind of feel as though basically that by issue 50, it seemed like he just ran out of ideas. Either that or basically he was getting really bored with this book. Yeah, that's the kind of felt as though. It felt as though he was getting really bored with Thor at this point in time. 4 years, little 4 years in, and basic like 4 or 5 years in, and basically he's getting really bored of Thor. So let's do an alternate world story arc to cap off his run. Either that, or you probably really wanted to end this run so badly because this run prior to this arc has been pretty good. The Gods and Men story came before this one. That was pretty interesting what it was, but then basically like it's like right afterwards, it's like yeah, it's like he just not caring anymore at this point in time. It's like he had a great start, and now he just doesn't care because basically you could say that you could say this run was doomed to fail once they killed off Odin. Yeah, he became Lord of Asgard. Nick Olson became his own separate character instead of basically swapping back and forth. Now I'm not really sure exactly why in the world that he decided to kill off the character, but he did. It is shocking the fact Marvel kept him dead, kept Odin dead for 10 years. 10 years they kept the guy dead, and then Matt Frax brings him back. Yeah. I'm going to give Thor Spiral a 8.5, but it feels like a tremendous step down from the previous issues. Now, next up, basically, we have is Iron Man. Yeah, we still have Frank Tier in the artwork, and basically, Stark Solutions gets disbanded. Well, this version, anyways, gets disbanded with with issue 41. The pair of Potts, of course, the pair of Potts and Happy will continue to become part of the group as part of the Maria Stark Foundation. And the foundation stuff mostly put, if you're curious about it, was mostly put in place to finance the Avengers. Yeah, it became more prevalent in this book for some reason. Despite making its debut early on. Yep. And then like Frank Terry decided, oh, let's have this. Okay, let's have this skin armor. Basically, armor mark 19. Yep. And he would not use his armor very long. Oh no. He basically used his armor just for these set of issues, 42 to 49, and that's it. I mean, at least in the case of Frank Terry issues, of course, basically we're in a story known as the Big Bang Theory. So issue 42. And when does it wrap up, mostly, if you think about it? I'm looking up on here. Does not wrap up until Iron Man 45. Yep. It's only just a 4-part story arc. Yep. Of course, you have also Jocasta appearing in the story arc. Yeah, and also looked like that Tony Stark is basically took an alias of Hogan Potts. The most interesting thing related to the story arc is that we have Return of the Ghost, classic Iron Man villain, the Ghost. At least here he's drawn like the way that Bob Layton first drew him back in the 70s. Back in the 70s when he first showed up. Yeah. Love the fact he showed up here. Yep. He's only here for these set of issues, and sadly put, when it comes to him appearing in Iron Man, well, with the exception of a miniseries, Iron Man Inevitable, which came like just a couple years after this one, this will be the last time he appears in Iron Man. You're thinking, really? Yeah, really. He never appears in Iron Man ever again after this story arc wraps up. Yeah. It's a very interesting story, what it is. But then moving on to 46 to 49, it's known as the Frankenstein Syndrome. Starting off with a 100-page special, and then we have the sentient armor becoming a bad guy. Yeah, so the Sons of Jensen become basically bad guys for basically Thor book for the Iron book. Yeah, it's like a good start, and then basically Frank Terry's like bring him back for reasons for a 3-part story arc, which basically leads into the fact group is disbanded because the fact the person controlling the group is in fact Ultron himself, and it concludes with issue 49. Yeah, Ultron basically was interesting. His next appearance will be Avengers 500. Just 3 years later. Also, they kill off the sentient armor in this issue. Yep. He's effectively all done. Yep. It's almost like Frank Terry trying to wrap up Annie Lewis and he could. Then we have Sun Tao, who apparently joins up with Stark Enterprise and then he gets killed off. And then we have the Titanium Man. An enough said issue. But we're not done yet. Nope, not done yet. Next we have is the last day published for 7 years, Iron Man Annual 2001. Which, of course, this is not written by Frank Terry. It's written by Chris Claremont and Michael Ryan. The backup story is written by Frank Terry and Chris Wilson. The opening story is simple, but I love the cover. It's Brian Herberlin's artwork. It looks really good here. We have a woman named Anna Wong. Yeah, just basically him being in Malaysia for a first story arc issue was really good. Then we have someone with Tiberius Stone and Rimiko. Yep. And I think this will be Tiberius Stone's like period when he appeared in this annual. I think that was one of the last times he appeared in the book. No, he appears a couple more times in the book, and then he pops some Hercules. Yep. But yes, okay, so there is one more thing to discuss here. And that's the miniseries Iron Man Bad Blood. Yes. This 4-part miniseries, written by Dave Michelini, artwork by Bob Layton. We have Return of Justin Hammer in this miniseries, and this also be his This also will be the last time he appears. I'll get to that. So this came out the previous year, so they have issues, but I didn't discuss it. So also he's still wearing the Kurt Busiek armor here. The Iron Man armor 16. Yep. This will be, I think, one of the last times he wears it. Yeah, I think this was the last time he officially wore his regular armor in the main Iron book. Yeah. And the whole thing is basically trying to get him to get Justin Hammer live forever. We have appearances by the Spy Master, which of course basically he's an old Iron Man villain. He got killed off in miniseries Iron Man Inevitable. And it's almost like basically you can think of this miniseries as basically, well, you can think of it as a continuation of the run done by Bob Layton and Dan Michelini. Yeah, and then by the end of it, basically, we have a debut of a new armor in this miniseries known as the Outer Atmospheric Armor, which Iron Man would not wear very much. Yeah, he wore in this miniseries. Apparently, it popped up Ultimate End. Last time it showed up was actually back in Iron Man Advanced Armor 593. It would just be armor he wore once. So eventually, put by the end of the miniseries, Justin Hammer dies. Well, he dies by being frozen in space. Yep. Also, Philip Barnett dies. The space station, basically, that he had in the miniseries. Yeah, basically, this whole fight takes place in space. Really cool miniseries. I do recommend checking this out, and I kind of wish Marvel would collect this in a trade because it's a good miniseries. And for some reason, it's not in trade. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. But I give the Iron Bad Blood a 9.5 out of 10. What do I give the Iron Man issues themselves? Big Bang Theory, I give that also a 9, along with the follow-up story arc, a 9 as well. 49, I give that a 9. Basically, I give all these issues a 9 out of 10. I figured these issues would be better discussed in Thor. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular view. I've got 2 more common corners to go, and because of the fact that the Doctor Stone English dub episodes were released, I'm going to go ahead and do that right after these next 2 videos. And I'll discuss that, plus the newest chapter Barge released today, and also one more comic corner. Okay, next video. Bye.